AM 1280 News Talk KIT 717 on the 18th day of July as the morning news rolls on now into our ongoing segments of politics. Primary coming up in early August and a fairly active calendar of candidates running. And our next guest is someone running in the 15th district for position number 1. That's currently held by Republican Bruce Chandler. So Jack McEntire would like to send him to retirement and take over. Jack's in the studio this morning. And good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Real good.
Excellent. Good to have you here. So here we go. We were thinking, okay, well, how do we know this name? This guy, he sounds like somebody we should know. And poking around, we are reminded of your artistic capability. So people are going to go, is he the guy that's a fantastic carver and an artist? And we were just talking with you that art was something you didn't even know you were good at. That's fantastic, wasn't it?
Oh, I had no idea. Yeah, it was all hardcore science and math for me in the day, microbiology and immunology, but had a high school buddy in Packwood, Tracy Breitenfeld. A lot of you have seen his art, and he dared me one day, and I took him up on it. Watch out for dares from high school friends, right?
There you go.
Changed my life.
Rest is history. Well, truly, you have a talent for all of that. How about for politics? Tell us a little bit about you, your background, family, what you're doing now on a daily basis, that sort of thing.
Sure, yeah. My family came to the Valley during the Depression to pick fruit. I did a lot of it myself, too. One of the ways I got my way through college was glomming cherries and banging 2x4s together. But, I guess the politics started at Eisenhower, ran for student body president against Roger, and went in, did my microbiology and immunology, and then I found out my buddy Tracy wanted me to try something, and I did it, and it changed my life. Now I've ran 2 businesses, raised my daughter here in the Valley, and I'd like to give back to the greater common good.
All right. Any politics other than that high school run? I mean, you do anything in the community involved in political stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the board of Makerspace. I've been a delegate to the Washington State Convention. I've been a PCO, vice chair of Yakima County Democrats.
So you've had your sleeves rolled up and your hands in it here for a bit?
Yeah, I have. I like the down-to-earth, gritty nature of practical work, getting outside. I really understand the common working man. Mm-hmm. Boy, it's been hot the last few days, hasn't it, guys?
Boy, I'll tell you what, those folks that are out there in the sun doing the hard work, they're earning it.
I'm curious about a couple of things. First of all, do you bring a chainsaw to a gunfight?
I could. That could be effective. Yeah.
Yeah, on a serious note, I'm always fascinated by somebody who, and this is what it sounds like to me, the little bit that you're telling us, that you had some jobs to work your way through college and sort of a self-made guy. That usually tends to result in conservative principles, and you are running as a Democrat. So how does it affect your decision-making or your view about things like tax policy and how much the government should be doing for us versus what we do for ourselves?
Sure, yeah. Well, for one thing, in 2000, I felt a lump, and I was on public health care at the time. Mm-hmm. And I was able to go get that checked out, and sure enough, it was cancer. And 6 days after the surgery and starting radiation, I was able to go back to work. Instead of it costing the community hundreds of thousands of dollars if I delayed it, I was able to go in, get it relatively cheaply taken care of, and I'm the sole provider for the household. Mm-hmm. It's instances like this that shows me, yeah, we definitely need to do everything we can ourselves, but there are times we need help from the community, too. No one is an island.
Oh, good point, sir. As you assess the current state of affairs in Olympia, we've asked all the other candidates the same question. How do you rate what's come out of Olympia as of late and the nature of interaction and effectiveness of our current legislature since you look to join the party?
Well, I'm glad looking at the sessions. The last one was only 2 months. It beats with my wife and all. It's kind of tough to talk her into the fact that I'll still have to be doing this business. If we can keep the session short, that's a good thing for those of us that would have the honor to serve.
Yeah.
I think McCleary was decided pretty well. We definitely need to invest in education. There's no thing we can do better than to invest in our kids. The Hearst decision also, I think, has made a lot of sense. We're preparing for the necessity of understanding just how much water we have. Water is absolutely crucial to the area.
But look at the ridiculously protracted nature of the process to get there for both of those. I mean, they say, you don't want to see the making of the sausage, just eat it and be happy. But my gosh, I mean, to have the Supreme Court involved and to have the governor, shut down Hearst and on and on and on to get to where we got to. Got to be frustrating.
It is. I expect to have to do a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
None of this is going to be easy. Easy decisions are made at a lower level, but it's worth putting the time into it and the effort. Nothing comes fast. Even at Eisenhower, I surely didn't get done with all I wanted to. Yeah. This will be even a harder push. Probably be the hardest thing I'll ever do in my life.
One of the things that Richard, I was waiting for you to play the do we need to spend more money to get better educated kids card.
Reading my mind.
I don't want to steal your thunder, so play your card, sir.
Well, you said it. I could tell you said it. You were in favor of the McCleary decision. You thought it was a good idea. That thing started a long time ago, as Dave pointed out. And, what I go back to, the government doesn't have any of its own money. Right? It doesn't have its own money. It has our money, and they're supposed to be good stewards of our money. And not everybody agrees that McCleary was a good idea, and in particularly because I don't think spending more money equals better educated kids. And I would point to me, you, and Dave, for instance,
at least the two of you,
as examples of we didn't spend as much on education, even inflation-adjusted education costs when I was a kid, but I seem to do okay in life. I don't understand why there seems to be this push to spend more money, and that's going to equal better educated kids. I don't connect the dots there necessarily.
Well, with me, I remember my time the UW. I was a conservative man at the time. I even supported Nixon during Watergate. Not a lot did that, right?
Yeah.
Of course, I was very young at the time. Nothing like education and world travel. But I've come to see the struggles that I went through. I went 3 or 4 days without eating because I didn't have enough money, but I was determined to get my way through school. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't have to do that. That makes it awful hard for a young person that's trying to get their way through it to follow through. We can at least, I think, agree a more educated society is better for all of us.
How do you know that had you not gone through that struggle, that you would have risen to the level you have? I mean, that's the thing. We can't go back in time and do it a different way and make it easier for you to prove that that's the way we should do it. That's not possible. So how do you know that those experiences weren't what caused you to be successful and that we're short-circuiting that by making it easier for kids?
There's no way to go back in time and relive things. I never do that. Go forward. You can't second guess what may have been, what might have been. Right. All we know is what was.
That's what I'm saying. Is we can't. I'd say you're successful because you struggled.
Yeah. Well, spending less money on education is definitely not a way to improve it.
Right. Well, the government has, again, finite resources and a number of problems, and it's got to be difficult as a legislator to have to try to figure out how you make concessions. What do we fund? What don't we fund? One of these big and potentially very costly issues is addressing mental health, and we've talked about it with the other candidates. So mental health is a factor in a couple of other big issues for us. One of them is gun rights, gun control. Mental health is a factor in
school shootings,
and things like that.
What the police have to do every day now that left it to them to take care of mental health issues.
They got to assess and judge. It's not really their thing.
Why?
The other thing is in the area of homelessness.
That's right,
Richard?
homelessness. You got it. Yeah, the homelessness issue is a major factor there. Now, do you think that we're only going to be successful if we wipe out 100% of homelessness?
Oh, no, we'll never be 100% effective in anything. In any business model, if you try for 100% efficiency, you wind up with great inefficiency. Mm-hmm. You know, you can only get 95, 98% and be within best practices. Right. That would be tremendous, of course. If we could eliminate 95% of homelessness, great. I mean, I am a progressive working class advocate. I am for universal health. I am for universal education. Everyone deserves health care, and the sooner we give them the health care, the less costly it is in the long run. We spend twice of what every other industrialized country in the world does, and we have a shorter life expectancy. We have arguably maybe the worst healthcare system in the world. And universal education, if the kid's smart enough to pass the entrance exam, they should get a free ride through college or free vocational training. That way they have this future in front of them. They're less likely to get involved in bad things, get involved in gangs. They will know they have this. They come back trained, educated professionals. They'll help our society. And how will we get the money? Well, they're going to pay more money in taxes because they're going to have better jobs.
Mm-hmm. Now, Jack, you said that you think we have the worst healthcare system of any industrialized country. You know, we have. Even before Obamacare, we had more than 90% of our people covered by health insurance, and you said that, you know, we're never going to solve 100% of a problem. So I agree with you that in the greatest country in the world, nobody should be going without health insurance, but I think we've been more successful, not less successful. People are living longer. We're keeping people alive from things that used to kill them at an earlier age. How do we have the worst system?
Well, microbiology and immunology is actually closely related to the healthcare field. It's actually the most common major for pre-med students. Mm-hmm. And the technology has increased. We definitely are doing a better job all across the world. Mm-hmm. Medical technology has increased. However, compared to every other industrialized society, we do have a shorter life expectancy, and we do spend twice as much. Mm-hmm. That is huge inefficiency. We'll never get 100%, but if we could get 98%, 99%, I would feel better. I'd sleep better at night.
Right.
The one thing I want to do is when I see my great-grandmother in heaven, have her tell me, you fought for the common guy, Jack. You did not fight for the big money. You fought for the guy in the fields, just like my family. My family used to get their water out of the Natchez River by buckets. Mm-hmm. They were homeless.
Right. Well, I think my last question was going to be, what would you say? Why should we vote for you? And I think you just answered my question.
Yeah. We've always couched it as you're stuck in an elevator with Dave and Richard, but you have a chance to convince us. What would you say? So last word is yours, Jack. What do you want as you head into the primary? And I guess you're guaranteed to move ahead. There's just the two of you in your race, right? You don't have any other Democrat folks that you got to worry about.
No, there are no other Democrats or Republicans. So, Bruce and I will be in the Journal together.
Right. We'll see you later on. But all right. But you guys even appear on the ballot as a result? I'm trying to think. There used to be the old beauty contest. Like it'd be, how are we doing at this place and time? And I guess maybe you are then, right? Going to be on the ballot, so you get a chance to see how close you guys are and what areas you might need to go to work in, right?
It's a dry run. Of course, with a 20-year head start, Bruce has a pretty good advantage. And as far as like raising money, wow, very little money. It reminds me very much of my family. Once again, it's kind of in the fields, picking the bottom of the trees, getting paid very little,
continuing the family struggle
hard and efficiently.
Exactly, I gotcha. All right, so tell the Valley why they maybe need a fresh look.
I think we need someone that understands what it is to get out there and work every day, to understand what it is to have to pay bills, worry about mortgages, worry about keeping your family together. Just the struggle to get outside in the cold, in the heat, every day, do something physically, but also I have the background of science, and I understand science, data-driven reality. we need a heart. We also need a mind. And we need someone that's from the valley, someone that has not had the advantages of great wealth, someone that has had to struggle, and someone that understands what we're all going through out there every day.
And if that speaks to you, then Jack wants you to know he's your guy. Jack McEntire, thanks very much for your time this morning. We appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck in the months ahead. And we'll all be interested to see what the snapshot, what the data shows here in August. And we look forward to having you back. This is your free ride. This is where you get to introduce yourself. When you come back, sir, we'll have the real questions. So
bring your chainsaw.
That's right. Bring your chainsaw. No,
well, if you want me to, I will.
No, don't.
Be careful for what you ask.
Don't encourage him. He takes challenges. Remember, we already just found out that he likes a challenge. So, Jack, we appreciate your time. I enjoyed our time with you, and we look forward to chatting with you again down the road.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. You're tuned to The Source, News Talk 1280 KIT. Take a break.